Fanganronpas, fan-made Danganronpa games. The community created around the Danganronpa murder mystery series has spawned a large number of fan games and projects, and it's not very hard to see why. Danganronpa has a formula, and damn does it ever work. Daily life, free time events, motive, investigation, trial, execution, repeat. This pre-made structure makes it easy for people to swap out the characters and events and make their very own killing game. And man, are there ever a lot of them. From video games, to video series, to crossovers that you'd never expect to see, there's a heap of projects made by fans of the series that aim to tell their own story using the Danganronpa format. I've been in the Fanganronpa community since early 2020. Since then, I've seen a fair amount of them, and since people seemed interested, I'm going to cover 5 of my favorite ones, because the creativity and passion of this community is outstanding, and it deserves to be recognized. Although I've seen many fangans, I obviously have not seen them all, and there's one series in particular that I am ashamed to admit I have not checked out yet. That's right, I have never played nor seen Danganronpa Another 1 or 2. I know, I'm a fraud. I just never got around to it, despite these being arguably the most popular fangans ever made. Maybe I'll stream them or something if that's something people are interested in. Let me know in a comment or something if that's the case. But regardless, my point is, don't expect to see those on the list, I'm just saying that now. Also, any fangan format counts, so video series and Insta-Rompas are also on the table. Actually, I'm looking at the list and none of the ones I picked are actually playable games. Oops. Anyway, since I encourage you to check these fangans out for yourself, I also won't be spoiling any of the plot or using footage beyond that fangan's prologue. But that's enough preamble, let's get into what are currently 5 of my favorite Fanganronpas. Danganronpa Despair Time is definitely one of the more popular Fanganronpas that I've seen. It's a video series on YouTube, posted to the titular Despair Time channel. It follows Teruko Tawaki, the ultimate lucky student, but it seems that all of her luck turns out to be the bad kind. The mascot is this little cat-like creature called Mono-TV. It's a silly little thing, but it can be kind of intimidating when it wants to be. The art for this fangan is all done by the creator, which is incredibly impressive. I quite like the style, especially the one that they use for the CGs and closing arguments. The writing isn't half bad either, especially in the cases. That's probably where it shines the most so far, in my opinion. Personal favorite characters of mine include Charles, Wit, Rose, and Ace. And while there are characters that I'm not really sold on, there's a reason that this cast is so beloved by fans. In my opinion, good characters are one of the most important aspects of a fangan, and when Despair Time nails it, they really nail it. Despair Time is currently on hiatus in the middle of their Chapter 2 trial. Allegedly, it is still being worked on, and I do hope that they manage to see this through to the end. It really does have so much potential. Another video series fangan that I adore is Danganronpa Heartless Deceit. It's only on the prologue, but it truly is one of the best fan projects I've seen in a while, Danganronpa or not. I've already sung its praises in a separate video on my channel, linked in the card and description, if you want to know why I think it's so fantastic. But even if you don't watch that video, I implore you to check the series out. You will not regret it. Moving over to Instagram now, let's talk about Penguinronpa. This is our first fangan that doesn't feature a cast of original characters. Instead, it involves characters from the online game Club Penguin, as they're placed into a killing game. It follows Agent, our protagonist, as they're trapped on the island with 13 other penguins. and one crab. The art for this fangan is adorable. It really captures the feeling of Club Penguin, but it has the writing and the drama of Danganronpa. Yet, at least in my opinion, it never seems to clash and ends up creating this very unique product. Penguinronpa was one of the more popular Insta-Rompas, currently sitting at 5.7 thousand followers at the time of recording. But perhaps my favorite piece of Penguinronpa lore is that it caught the attention of IGN, who actually made an article about the project, which is just amazing. Penguinronpa is on Chapter 6, but is currently on hiatus. I really hope this one ends up getting finished. It's so close. But either way, you can check it out on Instagram or Tofudumaro's YouTube channel. Staying on Instagram, we have Danganronpa Defiance. This one is a fan-made continuation of the canon Danganronpa series, taking place after V3. It features an array of characters from past Danganronpa games, which gives them the opportunity to flesh out different dynamics and other character aspects that couldn't be explored in their original games. This one is just great. Our protagonist is Kokichi Oma, and the way it explores his character is really well done in my opinion. He forms a friendship with Sakura Ogami of all people, which, on a first glance, seems absurd, but the more you think about them, the more you start to see that they're almost like two sides of the same coin. I could do a whole video on Defiance, honestly, but if I talk about the plot any further, I'll be straying into spoilers. Check it out on Instagram, it's on the Chapter 4 trial. I'm not sure if it'll get finished, but I really hope it gets there. Kit, if you're watching this, please, I'm on my hands and knees. Either way, though, I highly recommend that you experience this one for yourself if you're looking for more content to scratch that Danganronpa itch. Ronpa and Friends is another crossover fangan, this time with the classic Disney characters. This means it's got characters like Mickey Mouse, Goofy, Donald, Chip and Dale, and many more. We've also got our host, Monobulb, based on Gyro Gearloose's Lil Bulb. These may be Disney characters, but I assure you, this series does not shy away from the heaviness of a Danganronpa game. Ronpa and Friends is the only fangan on this list that has the honor of actually being finished. And trust me, that is a monumental accomplishment in this community. You can find the entire thing on the Ronpa and Friends Instagram page. Just a warning though, be careful navigating to it, because one of the top posts has spoilers on who the survivors are. Pro tip there. There was also a sequel and even a promised third entry, but the sequel seems to be on an indefinite hiatus as of now. Regardless, I really cannot recommend this one enough. It's somewhat based on Trigger Happy Havoc, and it really does capture the feeling of that game, while getting me invested in these classic characters by writing them in such a good way, with complexity and depth, yet still remaining true to what makes them, well, them. You can definitely tell that Spade, the creator, had such a passion for these characters, and it really does show in their project. If you've got a few hours and want to experience a really solid story, give this one a read. And that's 5 of my current favorite Fanganronpas. This was just a quick little recommendation list, but I'd love to go into full detail into some of these fangans eventually. If you have a suggestion on what chapters you'd like me to see cover in depth, let me know in the comments. Once again, kudos to all of these creators for what they've managed to achieve. Trust me, I know firsthand how hard it is. All of their projects are linked in the description as well for you to check out. Thanks for watching the video, and as always, I'll see you next time.